All right, so I got a real banger of a YouTube video for y'all today. Today I'm going to be talking about the similarities between jail and the prison system to Navy boot camp. Obviously, this video is kind of a joke, but like not really, you know what I mean? But before we get into it, man, go ahead and check out my album link down below. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, so the first similarity between jail and Navy boot camp is you're going to be showering with no privacy with a bunch of other dudes, you know what I mean? Dudes or females, you know what I mean? They do it in the females' house too. I don't want to discriminate, you know what I mean? Because Navy boot camp and jail do not discriminate, you know what I mean? You go out there and you pretty much take a shower with everyone. You got to get in and get out. It's not like an enjoyable shower. It's like you look forward to taking a shower and then you go in there and it's like, ah, fuck. You know what I mean? Obviously in Navy boot camp, you're not going to be worried about, you know, somebody stabbing you in the shower, you know what I mean? I think that's a thing that you have to worry about in jail, you know, but yeah. All right, so the second similar thing between jail and Navy boot camp would be the way that they issue clothing. You know what I mean? When you first get to boot camp, they're going to take off all your clothes and then they're going to yell at you, you know what I mean? And you got to put all your shit in a box, you know what I mean? That is similar to jail. They take all your stuff, they send it in the back, and then you just got to wait till you get out. You know what I mean? It's the same way in Navy boot camp. Also, you know what I mean? They issue the clothes and they're like yelling at you. You can't ask questions, nothing like that. You know what I mean? It's not a fun experience. All right, so the third similarity between jail and Navy boot camp would be the galley. You know what I mean? You go to the food line and you wait in this long line and you can't talk. You gotta all, you know, face the wall or look forward. You can't talk to nobody. You know what I mean? If you talk to anybody, you're gonna get yelled at, you know, maybe separated from the group to get yelled at by, you know, some chief or, you know, a guard. And then you go through the line and then you sit down and you can't talk to nobody. You don't look at nobody, nothing like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's kind of similar, just slightly. Obviously, this isn't to say like the Navy is like jail or anything like that. You know what I mean? Obviously, both are somewhat similar, but I mean, they're for different outcomes, you know what I mean? A lot of people join the Navy to make their life better, but boot camp is just something you have to go through, you know what I mean? Jail is a punishment typically, or a place where you get held, you know what I mean? There's a lot of good people in jail, and there's a lot of good people in boot camp, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, this is you know, the same. It's not the same, you know what I mean? But they're both opportunities, you know, to get your mind right and get it, you know, to the point where, okay, you're ready to change your life, you know what I mean? One sets you up for a job and a career in the military. The other one, you know, is a punishment, and then after you're done, either way, you do your time until you get out. A bonus similarity between jail and Navy boot camp, though, would be like not being able to access information as quickly as you want, you know what I mean? So I was watching an interview about somebody who was in jail, you know what I mean? And they said it was like they would think of something and they'd have to stick with that thought all throughout the day, you know what I mean? And I was having the same experience in Navy boot camp where like, oh, like, I wonder when this happened, you know what I mean? Oh, I wonder what this is. And usually you're able to just Google it on your phone, right? Not in boot camp and not in jail. You're gonna be sitting there thinking about it, staring at the wall like, yo, like, what happened? You know what I mean? You're gonna try to find the information, and you know, maybe you write it down to look it up after you get out, but nobody's gonna tell you unless you can, you know, get like a RDC or like a guard to tell you, or, you know, maybe somebody calls home and you ask home about it. But typically when you call home, you're not trying to, you know, deal with that. That is another thing which is similar to Navy boot camp and jail, you know what I mean? You go to this big call center and you only get a couple minutes to really call home and talk to your family. I feel like in jail you actually get to talk to your family more. You know, in Navy boot camp you only get like 4 calls. So I mean, it's really just, you know, kind of like different, you know what I mean? You're there for different purposes, things like that. But, you know, ultimately this video is just a fun video, you know what I mean? Hopefully you got some type of entertainment value out of it or things like that. No, I haven't been to jail, but I've been to Navy boot camp, and you know, I've talked to people who have been to jail, and they're like, when I'm describing my experiences, they're like, oh, like, it's kind of like jail. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot like jail. Like, you can't really leave. You got to file in systems and do things like that. But obviously, you know, this is no disrespect to, you know, Navy boot camp or the Navy. I mean, they all have different purposes, and I think really it's just to help you reset your life and go to do better things, you know what I mean? Sadly, that's not always the case for, you know, people in jail or in Navy boot camp. But ultimately, this video is just to be kind of funny, you know what I mean? So hopefully nobody takes offense to it. Other than that, man, if you like what I had to say, leave a like and subscribe. Also comment some of your experiences down below. I love hearing from you guys. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all stay blessed. Peace. Also check out my album. Peace again.